This is what we have come to and we understand. First of all, going back, there were many souls who were in what would be termed or called a hell-like experience. They had brought themselves and created that own frequency. It was not a place they were sent to. God didn't put them there. It was not a judgment. It was not a punishment. This is where, because of their own soul life paths. So there were many souls.
Yeah.
That had found themselves in this place. That had created this place themselves.
Yeah.
And that is where they went, because that is what they created. Very few were finding their way out.
Yeah.
And even if some found their way out, they ended up a lot of times going back because they got
stuck,
habitual. They got used to it.
Yeah.
They just got very used to it. It was easy to fall back into that rut.
Yes, definitely a rut.
And you might get out for a while, but you fall back into the rut. Very much like an addiction type of thing. Like someone who's been an alcoholic, they will always have a problem with alcoholism. Even if they don't drink for 20 years, they still have to be careful, because if they start drinking, it's going to take them right back there. So there were these ones that were stuck. And the galaxy was going to be moving into an uplifting, an ascension, a moving up. And it was trying to decide...
Was it the galaxy or the entire universe?
Universe.
Okay, because the galaxy seemed a little small.
It doesn't... I'm saying galaxy because that's a focus you can focus on.
Yeah.
It is eventually going to spread out throughout everything.
Okay, but it's like a focus thing.
But yeah, let's just deal with this area. The galaxy is bigger than Earth, so... But there are these... And a lot of the souls that are on the Earth now that are the negative intent are mostly from this galaxy.
Okay.
And there are some from other galaxies, yes. But a lot of them...
But the majority.
A lot of them most of the ones who are on Earth now, who were in hell, have experienced lives, either Earth lives or lives associated to humans, in a way that brought them there, to that spot, to that place. So there was this group. Not necessarily all Earth humans, but somehow associated with that. Anyways, so there were this group that were stuck in this dark, painful place, and the universe is love. And so knowing there's the pile of messed up people doesn't sit well with us. We're not happy about that. We're not okay with it being there. Even though they did it for themselves, they created it themselves and everything like that, we're just not the type to just drive by and act like nothing's happening. We can't do that. That is not in the nature of love. So we had to come up with a plan. Something that could try to... They would need a good jolt.
Yeah, a kickstart.
A good jolt kickstart. But it
almost like a defibrillator.
Yes, and it had to be done in a very specific way. So the plan was that...
like when you jumpstart a car or something.
But we didn't just take the whole group and just plop, because that would be disastrous.
Yeah.
We already knew these ones had problems.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, what we'll do is we'll go through the group. We'll look at them individual soul by individual soul, assess who they are, what they need, where they were coming from, what path would be, not a specific path, but what zone would be the best to help them to
get out of this.
To get out of this rut they're in.
Yeah.
So generally what was tried to do was to find some place that started them out where they were already somewhat closely aligned to, so there wasn't too big of a difference.
So they basically you were trying to figure out where to put the ramp so they could get out.
This, for instance, say yes, it was like it's a ramp. Ramp is a good word for it.
First I thought ladder, but no, it's ramp is better.
It's more of a ramp, and so they started out in this Earth incarnation in places not too far off from where their soul vibrated. Maybe a little bit higher.
Yeah, give them a starting nudge.
It's closer to where they are. Then in the Earth society, that it has been a slow progression of the society itself. It has not been stagnant to help raise this, both through education, television, society, entertainment. Things have been done in a way to slowly bring them up as like going up a ramp, a slow progression to help them get out of this.
Yeah.
Think of like some drugs, when people take them, you can't just stop it. You have to have like a nicotine patch.
Like a weaning off process.
A weaning off patch. And sometimes you'll change the actual drug they're on, but you get something that's similar that they can monitor. I know with heroin, I do not know what it is, but I know with heroin, you have a special, I think it's called methadone or something like that, that you change it to methadone and then you wean them off of methadone, and that's how you do it. So it was like that kind of a process for helping these souls to get out. That is what, like, for instance, the civil rights things of the 60s, Oprah Winfrey, and then like Obama, and and other elements like for
Sesame Street,
for LBGT rights, Sesame Street. These things have come up and slowly come into the periphery and then work into the mainframe. So you have like Sesame Street, civil rights, Muppet shows, other television. In the 70s and early 80s, there were lots of afternoon movies for children and for young people that dealt with seeing things broader, understanding people. Lots of shows and things had a lesson behind them.
Yeah.
That helped to try to take people who are in a darker place and help them to see something brighter, see something broader. And society was growing in an acceptance and allowance of differences, even like learning disabilities and people with physical disabilities became more integrated and part of society and treated with more respect. This was raising, everybody was raising up and going up. Because we knew that at Earth's ascension that there would be a huge lift. If Earth agreed to this, there would be a huge shift. And this shift, if we could get people to this point for this shift, after this shift, if they went through this shift, it would bring them to a much better place. Their soul would be at a much better place to continue to grow from there than where they had been. Because from where they were, it would take for a tremendous amount of time and a lot of work, and we weren't finding anything else that was working for them. It's like, let's try this, and this Earth shift might actually be able to, yes.
I have a question.
Yes.
Is like the rising dimension thing the same thing as frequency?
Okay.
So I know my dimension's been rising, but...
Okay, dimensions rising, yes, they are related. Frequency is more individual, specific person. Okay. Whereas when you say dimension, it's more of a generalized group.
Okay, because we've tested this high.
Yeah. For instance, you can have, like, say, okay, in public schools they have a thing called grades. First grade, second grade, third grade, like that. That you can see each grade is like a dimension. But within the first grade, second grade, third grade, each individual student could be have wide varieties, and somebody who's in the first grade might actually, say, read at a fourth grade level.
Yeah.
But their math and everything else might be still at the first grade level. So dimensions are a generalized, broad term.
And frequency is an aspect.
And frequency is a more specific. An individual has specific frequency movement. Their frequency is their specific frequency.
Okay.
And the dimension is more of a...
Sort of getting it, but not quite.
Okay.
Because I know we've tested it and my dimension was getting high, but I'm not a group, I don't think.
No, but you're within the group. On Earth.
Oh, okay, I think I'm starting it. So like within the family's frequency is rising, so mine would rise with it. I mean, dimension.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. On Earth. Earth started out at third dimension here. We were right during your lifetime. Earth started out at third dimension. Earth itself is going through different grades. So there she's in third grade.
Okay.
Okay, then she's going to go to the fourth grade. And then Earth is going to go to the fifth grade.
Okay.
Earth itself is like the classroom.
Okay.
All right? On Earth, all the children in the classroom can be in wide variety of themselves personally. You may have one child in the class who may be at high school level, but then you have another child that has trouble with ABCs.
Yeah.
And so in a person's individual frequency can have wide varieties and be very different and fluctuating and very unique to them.
Okay.
Dimension is a generalized term to help us see how we're going. And if we say, okay, we're going from the third dimension to the fourth dimension, that means we are in the process of moving ahead. We're still part of the class. We're still moving with the class.
Okay.
That is what that part is. Don't get fixated
on definitions?
On definitions.
Okay, because that's what was happening. Okay.
Yes. Because back to what I was talking about. The plan was that as Earth, her frequency would rise. She would help, and as the great big shift took place, there was going to be a great big whoosh.
Yeah.
When that whoosh took place, it would help to raise everyone that was on Earth at that time at a rate that had not happened before.
Yeah.
And that was seen as the last best effort to raise those who had been stuck in this hellish experience.
Okay.
So, carefully chosen, carefully orchestrated plans were put in place to help get these ones to rise, to get out of the rut. You couldn't just pull out of the rut. You had to have ramps. You had to have things helping to get you out of the rut. So that is what has been going on. And you could say to a point, and the world knew it. The world knew it. That is why in the Consciousness Project, they said that when Obama became president, there was a rise in the consciousness around the world.
Yeah.
The world knew this. Obama being there was like one of the final big hurdles to help lift people up, to get people out of that lower place. We were getting to the top of the ramp.
Okay.
Okay. Not to the highest that we could ever be in, but to the point of getting you up to the top of the ramp, away from the darkest dark.
Yeah, gotcha. Are some people sliding back in?
Where you go on the ramp, it's up to you.
Okay.
Some people have refused to be on the ramp. Okay. Some people go on the ramp for a little while and go back off. The choices are always there. It's not like it's only a one-way thing. You can go up and then slide back and up and slide back and forth and back and forth. But there is a timeline in place.
Yeah.
And Obama was there. Trump becoming president was for the purpose for those who had
not gotten on the ramp.
Not gotten up to the top of the ramp yet. For them to be able to see clearly who they are. Trump is shining a light on the souls to see who they are. So that, and to see, is this who I want to be? Is this what I want to be? Is this, and so there's no, what could we do to help them? If you, every soul says, I want to be survival of the fittest, which will always lead to extinction. If I want to be survival of the fittest, if you want to be survival of the fittest, which means me at the cost of everybody else. And me at the cost of everybody else maybe means that you will always end up alone and destroyed. There is nothing else. That's the only place that leads. If that is the path that you want, that you have become solidified in, then that is your choice. But it's making sure that you have had every opportunity, because the universe is love and doesn't want someone who has any chance of getting out of that to get stuck there.
Yeah.
So this is the last best ditch for the universe to save the darkest of souls. And the lightest of souls have come here to assist the darkest of souls. And that is why you see such a separation, such a harsh pull thing. There, because the lightest of souls and the darkest souls, the lightest of souls are trying everything they can think of in every different way to reach out to different ones. We are coming to the point. We're almost on the point. There's already at this moment here. There's already some deciding being made. Where it is not, it's far off. It's already starting.
Okay.
As to that, there are some souls that are already being seen as no hope for. We are already entering that final phase. That this last ditch effort is coming to a close. And that is why we're seeing this turmoil. Earth is going to ascend. It's not going to be able to stop. It's going to happen when the light blue comes through. No, it's not really. I've always thought of it as coming across, but it's not coming across. It's also coming from the very core, shooting outward. Yes. It is coming from the core, shooting outward. It will be somehow God is going to. Well, okay, I'm not going to go into that. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, got a little off in the.
It's like, oh, whatever. That's a little different than I had. Anyways, that is what's going on, generalized.